There's nothing finer to me than to be on the water when that sun comes peeking in under that Carolina sky in the Lord's creation, ripping some lips on my favorite waters, taking blind hog adventures with some of my best buddies.
What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Blind Hog Adventures Inshore Saltwater Podcast. It is so good to have you back with us. If it's your first time or you've been here all along, we're so glad you're tuning in. I'm your host, Corey Furlow, with Blind Hog Adventures YouTube and also with the podcast. And as always, I have my good friend and co-host, Captain Gaston King, joining me here in the studio today in the Redneck Lab. We've also got a couple of great people here joining us that Gaston's going to introduce to you in just a minute. But before we get there, we've got some show sponsors that are going to make today possible. And we want to introduce you to those great companies before we go on too much further. Don't forget to check us out as we drop at the first of every month. We also may be dropping some special episodes coming up. So don't forget to like and subscribe and check back. You can catch us on any major podcasting platform, Apple, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, you name it, it's out there. We're over 10 platforms strong and here to cover North Carolina like it's never been covered. So let's get on to our sponsors and then into the show, but we appreciate you tuning along. God bless, and let's get going.
This month's podcast partners include 5 great companies. They are Stroud & Son Marine, located in Edenton, North Carolina. Your one-stop shop for all of your sales and service needs. You can reach out to them at stroudandson.com. You can check out their inventory live online. You can schedule services. They sell brands such as Crest, Suzuki Marine, Carolina Skiff, Key West, Ocean Kayaks, the Old Town Kayak brand, Garmin, Minn Kota, and more. You can check out Redline Rigs. Redline Rigs is a great company, quickly becoming one of Eastern North Carolina's favorites. Your popping cork and bait and tackle needs are all met there. They also sell other brands such as Voodoo, Coastal Bay Baits, and more. You can put in code BHA for Blind Hog Adventures 10 to save 10% off anything on their site. That's redlinerigs.com. Fox Hollow Outdoors. Fox Hollow is one of our favorite places to get seasonings, bait, apparel, different places and different things there. You can check them out at foxhollowOutdoors.com to save a little bit of money while you're there. Don't forget to enter in code BHA for Blind Hog Adventures 15 to save 15% off of anything on the site, from custom mirror lures, the seasoning packs, the Bad Tails bait made by Bad Fish, you name it, it's there. You can save 15%. Salt Strong, one of the largest online communities in the country with over 60,000 proud. Also, last but not least, we have Saudi Bay Baits. Saudi Bay Baits can be found at deepcreeklures.com. There you'll find Deep Creek Lures, all the Saudi Bay Bait lineup, and Captain Garris Marine products. They are made here in North Carolina. They have tournament-grade fishing lures and things to take care of your boat. And we just want to thank all of these great companies as they come alongside Blind Hog Adventures to make this the best podcast available that we can. Let's get back to our show. Sitting to my right, as normal, is my co-host, Captain Gaston King. We're going to have the honor today to introduce who we have sitting across from us and take it from here. So, Mr. Gaston, good to have you, buddy. Welcome back as always. Appreciate that steak you put on the grill a little bit ago for us and the guests, and that was mighty fine. Might have cut that out too, though, because then everybody might expect it. So, appreciate that time we had before the fellowship here around the Redneck Lab. And if you will, man, take it away and introduce our guests, and let's get going.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey.
I appreciate everybody tuning in here, and I got 2 very famous people, popular people down here in our area, Mr. Tim Askew and Mr. Lambert Garris. Why don't y'all take it away and tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll get into it.
Tim Askew here. This is an honor. We appreciate the fact that y'all asked us to come and talk, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about Eastern Carolina Inshore Club, what we do there and what we raise money to help kids, and we're going to talk about the Bellhaven Trout Tournament Festival a little bit, about raising money there to help our young people go to trade schools, and maybe even we'll talk a little bit about Saudi Bay baits and the baits that we have for trout and red and so forth. So that's what we do, and we enjoy fishing, and it's great to get outdoors, enjoy what God's given us. So we appreciate y'all asking us to come and do this.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you.
Lambert Garris here. Glad to be here with you guys. Fishing is kind of life to me, as everybody knows. I'm involved in a lot of things. Running 2 different tournament trails, on a couple different pro staffs, Saudi Bay being the main one. Working at Grill Marine Outdoor Shop, helping people with fishing tackle and such. Glad to be here to talk with everyone today. and let's get to it.
That's it, man.
Lambert wants everybody to go in the Greenville Marine and tell them the favorite secret fishing hole and the secret bait. And then he's going to hand that information to me.
I'll be the first one to know that. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be number 2. That's good enough. Well, you talked about the tournament trail. I mean, that's gotten extremely popular down here. Why don't y'all tell a little bit about what you got going on and how you run it?
Well, we got started in 2020. Was it 20?
I think it was 20. We did
2020. We did 3 tournaments.
Yeah, I think
as a
so.
test run, kind of.
Yeah.
And it went really well. And from that point on, well, I'll let Tim get into telling you about how it got started, because that's more on his side because of Ronnie Butler, somebody he's really close to. But we got started in 2020. We did 3 tournaments. It turned out great. We went full blast in 2021. So this coming up season will be our 5th year. The tournament trail's growing. Not only do we just fish, we fish with a purpose to give back to the community. I think in the past 4 years, we've raised probably close to $40,000 that we've given back to various charities, as well as helping families out at Christmas, helping families all during the year, paying utility bills, something as simple as that, which to them, that's not simple, but
Especially when it's a long way, especially when it's cold as it is.
But to us, when Nancy reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I got a family that needs a utility bill paid. Can you cash out me some money?" And it happens just like that. But yeah, we're glad to be doing what we're doing, and I'm gonna let Tim really tell you about how we got started, because he's really close with the man that really is behind our trails. So
Made it happen.
yeah.
Ronnie, right after we did those first 3, or actually right before we did them, I went to Ronnie's office. He owns New Vision Metalworks in Tarboro, North Carolina, and sat down and I said, "Ronnie, this is what I'm thinking." I said, "The guys have been wanting to have a tournament trail, and let's just put the pop-up tent up and see what happens." And he said, "No, we ain't doing that." And I thought, well, he don't like that idea. And he said, "No, if we're going to go, we're going to go all the way." So we bought a trail, bought some tournament pro scales, just one thing after another. And then after we did the first 3, we planned a full season. And it quickly became fishing with a purpose, as Lambert said. And we organized the Randy Lee Vanderford charity tournament memorial fund. And his family, the Vanderford family and the Elks family, they do such a wonderful job along with Nancy Hill, raising. They make us look good.
They really do.
They make us look good. ECIC was a dream, and I called Lambert, and I said, Ronnie said this and that, and Lambert said, well, let's roll with it. So, Lambert and I get a lot of credit for Eastern Carolina Inshore Club, but we're no better than the people that surround us. All we do is pull the trailer up and down and try to organize things and keep it together. But it's everybody that fishes with us. It's everybody that don't even fish with us, but yet support us financially and other things that make us who we are and what we are, and it makes us successful. And I think this was our 4th full year in 24. And Lambert can tell you more of the numbers that we raised and given away or helped families with. I don't keep up with that. That's his job. Whenever I see a need and want to give a little money to try to help a family out, I have to call him and see what we have in the bank, because I don't even keep up with. I trust him, and he does a wonderful job with that. But we're very proud of being able to help families, help people out. We do a lot that people don't even know about. And then, of course, the Bellhaven, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but Bellhaven came to us a few years ago about doing the festival tournament, doing it on a yearly basis, and so it'll be an annual thing. But Lambert, like I said, he handles the money. He knows how much goes out each year in helping families, and that's a very important job, because if we don't have any money, he has to figure out where we're going to get it from. And our guys and girls, man, they're just unbelievable. Like last year when we had the festival, we had forgot to get sponsorship for the kids. And I told Lambert said, I'm on it. And I think within 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, I made a post on Facebook, and literally in less than an hour, a couple grand or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we had plenty of money. Still had people offering, and, at some point you got to cut it off, know.
Yeah, it was just so amazing that Lambert said, look, we just got to start turning people away, because we've got it covered. And it's an honor to live in Eastern North Carolina and be associated with the people that we are, that think about others a lot of times before they even think about themselves.
You have a saying that talks about the people on the river. What do you say there, Gaston?
People on the river are happy to give. Credence Clearwater Revival.
We talked about that in one of our early episodes, and we have found that, Eastern North Carolina is full of a lot of great people, and that's the whole purpose of this podcast, is to highlight them. It's not about us. It's not about even the people that sit around this table a lot of times and talk to us and come through on the microphone. A lot of times it's the people behind all of us that make this right. We may have the spotlight for a few minutes or talk about certain topics, but all of us have people in our lives, and I'm sure you listening out there, you've got people in your lives that make things go and to work and that make things tick. But Tim, you guys are known for reason all around the area because you guys just aren't involved in saltwater. You guys are involved in some freshwater stuff as well, being some tournament directors and different things. So that leads to, of course, the people that you come in contact with. So tell us a little bit about that.
We're actually the tournament directors for CAT East Division, which is Carolina Anglers Team Trail. We run all of those tournaments out of Plymouth, North Carolina for the bass side. We've been doing that, six years? About 6 years.
Wow.
Met a lot of great people there and friendships, and I think that the town of Plymouth has actually seen an increase in their revenue a little bit because the guys buy gas, they buy lunch,
They stay at a hotel. I can tell you, the Sportsman Hotel redid the whole thing, I think, just off Fisherman. I'm telling you.
So that's some of the things that we do. And going back, I was thinking about something a while ago when you were talking about the Eastern Carolina Inshore Club. Mm-hmm. I've talked to people through the years, and especially since we started, all y'all do is go out there and catch fish and give money away. No, that's not what we do. And once you enlighten them on what all we do for the community, then their eyes open up and they go, oh, y'all don't just go fishing and pay out money. No, we don't, because you would be surprised at how much our guys give back of their winnings.
Oh, yeah. With it, this year we had a team, I won't call their name because they probably don't even want people to know that they did it, but they gave their points money back, $800, gave it right back to, and said donate it to the Christmas fund. So,
wow.
Yeah, you got great folks that do that. We had somebody do it last year in the Belhaven tournament as well.
Yeah.
Gave money back.
Yeah.
And the water is the common theme, right? We all love catching fish. We all love being on the water. We like the competition part because most of us, we just love that part of it. And it's something we're going to do anyway. But when you can, most people aren't doing this for a living. Most people, 99.9% have got other jobs and other professions and things like that. It's a release, right? It's a way to give back to your community. It's a way to kind of stay sharp and hone your craft because fishing's a craft. I mean, it's one of those things. If you've ever been fishing and you didn't catch nothing and you see people that are catching a lot, that you realize there's something to it, right? There's a way. That's, we try to teach and learn and those kind of things, you're giving back to the kids. So you guys tell us about that. And now I know the kids are heavily involved in the tournament or can be heavily involved in y'all's tournament as well, right? If there's boaters, how does that kind of work out? How are the teams made up? How many teams do you normally have on the trail or in a given tournament? That kind of thing. And I know, but let's do the regular and then we'll talk about the Belhaven. That's a little special, and then we'll talk about the Vanderford. That's a little special outside, but just give us a general overview. Let's go saltwater first and then bass on the other side.
On the saltwater side, we usually, obviously your first tournament of the year, you're always going to have more boats because everybody's eager to get out there and fish.
Yeah.
We've had as many as 42.
Okay.
We usually average anywhere from 25 to 32 boats per tournament.
Okay.
We're set up where you can fish 3 adults per boat.
Okay.
And is it 2 kids or do we have it unlimited?
I think our rules.
We don't really
kids, but we don't care.
We don't care. If you bring 3 kids, we're not going to tell you can't fish for a kid.
Yeah.
15 and under, you get to fish free. We give a prize to every kid that fishes with us, no matter whether they catch a fish or not. They're going to get something when they leave. So we encourage. The youth is our future, obviously. But yeah, and the way we do it with the kids is they weigh their biggest fish.
Okay.
But their fish is also a part of the team.
Okay.
Because we want the kids to be a part of the team as well.
So they're learning to be a part of the team, but they're also got a little bit of individuality in it.
Exactly.
As well. Okay.
So if they weigh in a 7-pound trout, then it goes towards their team bag.
Yeah.
But it goes as the kids' biggest trout as well.
Yeah.
And if it's the adult biggest trout, they win that award as well.
Yeah.
So they're very much part of the team.
And we had that happen.
We did have that happen because we had a little bit of discrepancy over whether we were going to give them the big fish award, and the board met right quick, and they were like, "Hey, he caught the biggest fish. He gets
Biggest fish is biggest fish.
That's right. So he went home with 2 trophies that day.
That's really awesome.
And I'm glad you said that about the board. We did, I think, the first year we organized board of directors because we wanted this to be as legitimate as possible, and we didn't want Lambert and I to have to make all the decisions of everything. Again, that goes back to surrounding yourself with good people.
Yeah. And of course, we didn't want to get the reputation of being the ones that
made all the
running the club or per se making all the decisions. So
because Chris Ivey is our president and Chad Wood is our vice president, Lambert secretary treasurer, John Gherkins is our weighmaster, Tim Williams is our assistant weighmaster, and Jonathan
Edwards
is an alternate.
And Tim is the tournament director. I know he's not going to say it, but so I'll say it for him.
I get a lot of credit that's really not due me. I guess because I'm the face and the voice.
But you probably get a lot of kickback on a lot of stuff too.
Yeah,
facing the. Sometimes it ain't always.
It ain't
always gravy and gold.
People. Oh, he makes all the decisions and it's his way or no, it's not. That's why we have a board, and I'm just a part of the board, and whatever they all decide to do,
we're just one vote. That's all we are.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
So,
we like to call ourselves a club because we want everybody to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And we feel like the term club gives everybody a voice, and everybody's, they're welcome to come to our meetings and stuff like that. So we want everybody to be involved.
So tell us about the meetings. How often do you guys meet?
As often as needed. We don't.
You don't have a set.
We did. I think the first year we met like every other month. And then after we saw that things were running along pretty smooth, we decided that, it's a lot to ask somebody to work all day and then come to a meeting once a month and stuff. So now it's just as needed.
Okay.
We had one just a few weeks ago, just the board members to discuss a few issues. And then we've got one this Thursday, the 30th. Just open to everybody.
Right.
To come out and see what we've got going on, give their input, and to discuss, the future of Eastern Carolina Inshore Club and helping the community. Because it fastly, like I said a while ago, became our purpose of having ECIC was the fact of what we're doing. And, we're very honored and very proud that we can be in a position with ECIC to help so many people. I think 76 kids Christmas that we help, and some families that. And then Lambert, like I said, during the year he'll send money for light bills or groceries or just that nobody knows about that we do, and that's the reputation that we want. Instead of people, a lot of people are negative no matter what, and they say, oh yeah, like I said a while ago, all you do is give money away and win money. But no, that's really a bonus.
Yeah.
Our main purpose is to make sure that any kid that we can come across that needs something, we're going to make sure they get it.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Now, you mentioned the Vanderford tournament. I know you don't have to be a member of the club, from what I understand, because this will actually be the first year that because I was able to do the Todd Willis last year. That's a good fundraising tournament. And then this year, I didn't realize that, so I actually learned that talking in the shop one day to Lambert, and I was like, well, I'm not part of the club. He's like, no, anybody can fish the.
Well, anybody can fish anyone.
Okay.
But everybody is a member of our club, is the way we look at it.
Okay.
We don't have
it's not a take. Hold your hand up and do the Boy Scout oath.
No. If you lose or anything like that, if you want to fish, you show up that morning and you register and you go fishing.
There you
have
go.
a great time.
And then the Vanderford's a little different because that's your big fundraising tournament, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and that's the one that does a lot of the funding for the kids for the Christmas and
that's right.
and that kind of stuff, and some of the community projects and the giving back through the scholarships and things like that. Is that
that's correct? Yes.
All right, and then we've got the Belhaven tournament. So let's start. Y'all run how many tournaments a year?
Normally it's what, 7 ECIC?
6 qualifiers and one in our championship,
Okay.
or championship final, whatever you want to call it.
So inside of those 6, one's going to be your Vanderford. That's going to be a big fundraising tournament.
Correct.
Then you're going to have one that's the Belhaven tournament, correct?
Yeah, well, that's outside.
That's
Actually
So
different.
technically, so it's really just put on to help the town of Belhaven,
Yeah.
to help that surrounding community, and to raise money for kids.
That's correct.
Okay, so I mean, you got to look. That is a lot. You think about it, people can say or feel what they want. That's a big responsibility you guys have put on through that. That's a big responsibility, and I know just being involved in a lot of different things. When you start wearing all those hats, it's not glamorous. It's hard. Sometimes it takes on things at home. Sometimes it hits you when you're tired and don't feel like doing something. You don't always feel like going to a meeting or doing something, but it also, most time when we get there, we realize why we're there and we feel a lot better about doing it, right?
Yeah, and you could add 10 bass tournaments on top of that.
So with your bass tournaments, let's talk about that. You're actually helping 2 different counties. You got people coming from all over to be a part of this. And so with our local economies, that's what we're talking about, right? This is what the amazing thing, it doesn't just happen on its own. Tourism doesn't just happen on its own. All these kind of things, local businesses get more supported when we find ways to support them, right? So y'all say you do how many tournaments on the bass side? Roughly.
It's
4 qualifiers and a final.
Yeah, so 10, we split it up.
We split it up 2 seasons.
Okay, so you got what, spring and fall?
Spring and fall, yep.
So that's bringing a lot in there. And then give us a little rundown on that side if you want to as well, just really quickly on how that kind of goes.
Well, that's, like I said, we don't, the only thing we do with the Cat East Division is we're the tournament director.
Okay, so you got
Brett Collins from South Carolina actually owns Cat, and he's got 40-some different divisions, and he asked us 6, 7, how many years ago now, to run this part for him, and we enjoy it. Like I said, we meet a lot of people, but
and you've got the relationships through everything. That's correct. The community, right?
That's correct.
The communities you live in, but also the fishing communities.
That's right.
So it makes it pretty easy to have someone that's not local, have people that are local to do that, right? And that way, it also gives it, like I said, a very much reputable side to it.
That's right. And it helps, like I said, the town of Plymouth and even up to Williamston. People are staying in motels and going to restaurants and buying gas. So the Cat Trail, people might say, well, that's just, giving away money or winning money or whatever. But it's bringing tourism. It's bringing people to spend money in your county.
But, even if it is given, you say there's so much more behind it, right? So that's where I think sometimes if we can educate ourselves on what's going on, it enlightens us a little bit.
And that's the thing with the general public, too. And we want to, let them know that it's not just going fish.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that. I didn't know it till I started talking to you guys, and I've actually had questions answered today that I honestly did not know. I didn't know. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, we just we've been blessed to be able to help and in the positions to help and do things, and it makes you feel good. There's probably not many nights that Lambert and I are not on the phone at least an hour talking about ECIC and what we need to do, what direction, what families need to be helped, and not only families. I mean, we support the Hope Lodge House in Greenville every year.
The refuge in Aden.
The refuge in Aden. It's the
raise them children every year.
Yeah.
The Todd Willis up, and we donate to them every year.
That's right.
There's a lot of.
So you're helping a lot of organizations that require people to give money so they can provide services to people that are in need, and so by doing that, somebody's got to raise it. Somebody's got to be able to give it, and then it really starts to hit home when you've been impacted by one of those organizations, right? If you're a kid that comes out of that, you're going to have a background in knowing that people care. If you're at the Hope Lodge and going through cancer treatments or going through various things, that money and that time, that place they had to stay, we've had family members stay there. That is an amazing service that they offer. Very reasonable when you have so many things piled up and you don't have to drive home 2 hours or an hour and a half. You have somewhere to stay and be with your family and get those treatments and whatever it may be. I mean, so that's awesome that you guys do that and are a part of that, and just appreciate what you're doing with that and explaining a little bit more about it.
Well, no, I mean, these guys are absolutely killing it out here. I mean, really, and I know it takes a lot of work. And from somebody that comes down to Belhaven on weekends, I'm down here just about every weekend. The revenue that you guys bring into Belhaven too, and really everything you're doing positively for these people is pretty awesome. I did have a question. from our circle, sometimes you guys kind of get a bad rap. Well, they're coming down here and they're catching all these fish and keeping them and killing them. Now, it's my understanding that you guys, a lot of these fish go back in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, you weigh them and they're back in the water swimming.
Yeah. We built, was it 2 years ago, Lambert?
Yeah, 2 years
2 years ago. This will be our third year having. We built a big live well tank with pumps in it. Ronnie Butler gave us a trailer, and we try to keep them healthy and put them in there, and then Chad and Jonathan make sure they're healthy and release them at the end of our tournament. So we promote catch and release. And the thing about that, people say, oh, y'all coming down here, you know what, regardless of whether we had a tournament or not, those same guys are going to be down here fishing. So it's not adding anymore. They going to fish regardless.
That's right.
And they're going to be down here regardless. We're just giving them something to do while they're down here that allows us to give money to help.
That's right.
Help people.
That's right.
So, you know, it's a combination of things.
That's right. Well, when you have a world-class fishery, like, let's be honest, the Pungo River, the Pamlico Sound, all these areas are, when you have a world-class fishery, people are going to come regardless. So if y'all just come through a cold stun, the season has been closed, and, you know, so that's creating new issues for everyone, right? New concerns and things like that. So do you guys want to just briefly, I know you're going to have your big meeting this Thursday, but just in general, how is it kind of?
We got to discuss this at the meeting,
but it's just moving everything back a little bit. And
our schedule is set for the year. So the first part of the year, we're going to have to revise, obviously. But the second part of the year, if everything stays like they are hoping it will be, then September, October, November, December will stay the same.
Yeah.
We'll move the Randy Lee to June. And I want to touch on something else too, speaking of the Randy Lee tournament, because that's all the proceeds from the tournament itself go into the Randy Lee Fund. And we get sponsorships to do payback to the anglers. But I want to mention the family of Randy Lee.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that.
Not only does the tournament itself raise money, but they come out on tournament day and they provide lunch for the anglers. They get donations all during the year from their churches, from friends, family members, of items to be auctioned. Items to be, what's the other word I'm looking for?
A raffle.
Raffle, thank you. We have a raffle and we have an auction. We usually, raffle the smaller items and auction the larger item. So we make a lot of money, or raise a lot of money from what they do on top of just the tournament itself.
So it's not just a tournament in somebody's name, but you're benefiting. This is actually a cooperation with the family and say, hey, we want to do this in memory of our loved one and in memory of someone that was dear to us in the community. And will you help us do that? And so that
they are determined not to let his memory die. Mm-hmm. They are like behind this 100%. I mean, like, and also I know we're going to touch on this later, but the Belhaven tournament.
Yeah, let's go to it. That's fine.
Well, I'm just going to say one thing about the family. They come out and they get a spot at the Belhaven tournament, and they set up tent, and they bring home-baked goods. They do raffles. The club usually buys like a rod and reel combo from the raffle, but they even come out during the Belhaven tournament and raise money for the Randy Lee tournament and give back. I think this year they did, over $2,000?
About $2,500.
I think it's $2,900 that they just raised at a tent at the Belhaven Festival. Wow. So it's not just the Randy Lee tournament. Yeah. They are concentrating year-round on putting money into this fund.
And they did sale last year.
Exactly. They're always raising money.
That's awesome.
Well, the Belhaven Festival, too, is not only about fishing. I'll let these guys talk about it a little more. But, I mean, it's something for everybody there. I mean, kids of all ages. I mean, it's a great thing for Belhaven. You got a ton of people in town. It's an awesome event, and I'll let these guys explain, I guess, how to join, what you can do to have a booth or set up out there.
Yeah, you can go to BelhavenTroutFest.com, and you can see when everything opens up. You can register for the tournament. I think we're going to cap it, and we're going to meet soon on that. Last year it was 60 boats. We may increase that a little this year, but you can get your vendor spot. We're always looking, craft vendors, food vendors, stuff like that. So we're looking that to do. So you can go on to BelhavenTroutFest.com, but Belhaven Chamber of Commerce came to us several years ago, and, with the idea of having an annual festival like some of the other towns do. And we discussed it and talked, and Lambert and I and the board members kind of looked at it, and Hugh Sutton was an integral part of getting that together. And so we did the first year to put it together. Didn't really know what we were doing, but we did the best we could, and it was a success. So this PAT 24 in October was our second one, and it was even better. And we raised over $40,000 each year, so $80,000 that we have donated to the Beaufort Community College.
Wow.
The first year we went strictly to the boat building program. 24, it went to all trades, from nursing, electrical, whatever, on up wherever the money is needed. And that money goes not only to pay tuition for people to go to school, but if they need gas money, we had two young boys that wanted in the boat program, and they couldn't afford. They lived, right good little ways away, and they wanted to come be a part of it, but they couldn't. So what we were allowed to do with that money was to help them find housing, and so that now that they have a place to stay, and now they can go to school.
And getting a trade that is going to be a trade they can make a living with all their life.
That's correct, yes. So that's been a great effort. Again, it's Hugh and I have talked about it quite a few times, and we get the credit for it, but we couldn't do it without people like Lambert that comes and that first year was a disaster for him because he had to keep up with all the weights and this and that, and so we're only as successful as people around us, and we got a great group of people that just surround us and say, what do we need to do? What can we do? What do you need? I mean, it's just those same questions all the time that really makes me and Lambert look good.
Well, we talk a lot about passion, right? But passion comes in different forms. I mean, all these people coming to help out, I mean, they're passionate about trout fishing and helping folks. And I think everybody coming together, over a fish, we talked in a podcast about, what the barbecue world has done for somebody, right? I mean, this fish really brings so many people together and allows us to do these things, and it's absolutely awesome what you guys are doing.
What is it? So this is something I thought about, and I've meant to ask, I guess, in previous podcasts, and it kind of got in my mind. What is it for you individually what is it about a trout that just sets it apart?
All right. We'll be here another 3 hours.
That's okay.
But let's take you guys.
It's digital. I got this hard drive fills up, and that's 2 terabytes. Well, I ain't gonna be here that long.
I grew up trout. My dad, they nicknamed him right here where we're at today on this campsite, the Trout King. And so I grew up.
So we got the Trout King and the Popping Cork King.
Here,
the Kings. They gonna be doing.
So. And then I got away from it because I moved up to Carl Lake and bass fish for so many years. And I'd come down a couple of times a year and fish with him most I could. And so it's just one of those things when they shake their head.
Oh.
It goes all through you. And then when they come up on top of the water and shake their head and I mean, it's just, you can't horse them in the boat. Lambert gets on me all the time. But you ain't bass fishing when you set that hook. You're going to snatch his lips out.
Oh, that sounds like me.
so you got to get his lips in our theme song. Man, it's just something about these, and they're beautiful fish.
They're gorgeous.
And to me, it's the best eating fish there is.
I agree.
But, that's my opinion. But it's just something about it. And, I'm just... I don't know what else to say about them. It just goes all through you when you catch one.
It really does. And I tell you, the thing for me is from the time you feel the thump to when you set the hook, you got that split second of how big is this fish.
That's right.
You find out pretty quick, but I tell you, man, there's something about that thump.
It is. It's worth any drug anybody ever done on business.
I tell you.
Yeah, for me, Tim's dad is the one that got me trout fishing. He invited me to go, and I told him I didn't really I didn't care about a trout. I was a bass guy.
Yeah.
And he finally talked me into going, and we had a good day.
Tell him about that funny story about the first time you got it.
I was hoping you would. You got to say it now. I got it. Go ahead. So Earl invites me to go fishing, and I agree. Okay. I look at the weather forecast that night, and the wind's going to be blowing out of the northeast at like 15 to 25 or
Perfect
something.
drought, right?
Yeah, crazy raining. I call Earl up and I say, Earl, have you looked at the weather? He's like, no, I don't look at the weather. He said, you want to fish or you want to look at the weather? So that was the first thing that I learned about Earl. Don't call him about the weather. And then I was going to meet, we decided to meet at the Speedway out on 264, out by Greenwood Marine. And that was our meeting spot because he was coming from Tarboro way. And I didn't really know Tim's dad that well because I hadn't spent a lot of time with him. And I go to put my rods in the back of the truck or something, and when I did, there was a plastic milk crate back there in the back, and it had a cinder block in it with a rope tied to it. And then I get in the cab of the truck, and there's a pistol laying in the middle of the seat. And I looked at Earl, and I was like, what exactly are your plans for me?
Let us cinder block with a going on. He's old school mafia.
We ended up coming to right here where we're sitting at, the CB Marine, and we fished the Pungo that day, and there was one other boat on the water that day. That's how ugly the weather was. We caught our limit, of course. Back then it was 10 piece. We had a great day. Other than the boat, the other one boat, the whole creek, they wanted to get right on top of us because they saw us catching fish.
Oh, yeah, you grabbed a net. So it's been going on. It's been going on longer.
Exactly. So that's how I got started in trout fishing through Tim's dad, and for me, it's top water is my passion.
Man,
I just Tim will tell you, I'll throw top water until I just literally have to put it down because my body won't let me throw it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll pick something else up, and then a few minutes later, I'm picking the top water back up again. So for me, it's the passion of that top water bite, and of course the thump.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Well, that top water bite is something serious now. When you're just tagging that thing along and it sounds like a bowling ball hits the water, I'll tell you, there is something about that. There really is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, that is totally awesome. We also have something in common. All four of us are part of, I see you wearing the hat there, Mr. Tim, Salty Bay Baits. And so you've heard us on here with Austin with Redline Rigs. And basically, if you were part of the Redline Rigs family, you are almost...
Salty Bay guy,
almost automatic. They bring you into the family, you're a Salty Bay guy. And there's a deep respect and love between the families and the groups. And the reason being is, I think fishing brings, I say this, people can have good products, but you got to have good people.
Exactly.
And I always tell this when I talk to kids, and when I've been invited to speak to CTO kids, the Cross Trail Outfitters, they help kids get in the outdoors and things like that. And one thing I always push is your name goes before you. And so when I first got into fishing, and heavily into saltwater fishing, I was just looking for sponsorships. I ain't gonna lie, I thought it'd be cool to be a sponsored angler. I didn't know what that meant, didn't have a clue. And I was like, but I want to get sponsored by somebody. And it's the total wrong way to go about it. Find what you love, fish what you can, and then if you get the attention of someone that says, come be a part of our team, that means you made an ultimate impact on those people.
That's right.
And what I found through Austin, because we became friends, and honestly, I approached him without even hardly knowing him at all. I had sent him some stuff. Don't do this, by the way. I'm going to tell you what not to do, okay? I had sent him some stuff through, I think, I had talked to Lambert, and I had sent him some stuff through social media, and I was like, hey, just wanted to see about getting on your pro staff, and I ain't a pro worth nothing. I mean, I was as far from a pro as you could get, and I still won't call myself that, but I was not there. And Tim met me. I actually ran to him one day and cornered him at Greenville Marine. He was there to see Lambert, and I knew his face, and so he was very, very humble. Took his time and spoke with me, but of course nothing happened because, well, why would it, right? Well, down the line, like I said, that's how I met Austin, and come to find out, the Lord works, and he has his timing, because I became a Salty Bay guy, honestly, adopted into the family the same way we're adopted into Christ, right? We come through Jesus, through the Lord. But Austin, we met that because I was using my popping cork, is how I did. And he said, you know what? If you represent me, though, you represent Salty Bay. And so there's some things we got to talk about. And I thought that was so awesome that there was expectations, not of how much you sell, not of how much you do, not of how much you post. This is how you represent us and how you act and how you do. And that your name goes before you. And that's one thing, if I hope you take away something from this episode, is going to be a couple things. One, your name goes before you. So if you have those desires of getting on with someone, want to being a part of a team. That's one thing, right? But another thing is giving back, being a part of your community, being a part of groups of people that make you better. And a lot of times we think we're loners out there. We think that we don't have anybody around us that can relate, that can help us through things. Fishing is more than just about fishing. It's about life. And so I'll quit rambling, but I just thought it was really cool how God worked that out long before, right? Now, hopefully you guys will learn from my mistakes. And I think we've all started out there. We just thought it was cool to be able to put on a post or something like that. But align yourself with people with common values, principles. If you can align yourself with good Christian folks, and that's everything. I'll say we've got some awesome people that'll lift you up in tough times. But we are proud to be a part of this Salty Bay family. But why don't you talk to us a little bit about Salty Bay?
Let me say something real quick.
Go ahead,
Tim will never say this.
All right.
But Tim went above and beyond to help Redline Rigs in Austin.
And you know a little bit more about that story.
Get into places that Austin would never be. Tim has come out and pretty much put Austin at the top on a pedestal and absolutely bent over backwards to help Austin, who really at the beginning of this was almost a competitor. So I think that just speaks a lot to Tim and who he is as a person. But I thought that was pretty awesome.
But you also did.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, but you did it because of the character, right? You found common ground, which kind of said he's not my competitor, he's my brother.
Well, I met Austin, through Gast.
Okay.
The first time I ever met Austin, they were together and come over and talked to me at my camper and the instant friendship. And then one thing led to another, trying to help him. And we do. I mean, when people around here think about Redline Rigs, they think about Salty Bay Baits and vice versa.
Yeah.
Because we are a family and we help him and he helps us. And it's just one of those things where, you're talking about the pro staff. I'm I guess, the pro staff director for Salty Bay Baits. And I've got some applications now that we're going to go over because we're looking at putting some more people on. It's not about how many tournaments you won or how great you are.
It's not about being a pro, right?
No, it's
a far thing from it, right?
It really is. It's the wildest people out there listening to think you got to be a pro fisherman to be on pro staff. That's absolutely the farthest thing from the truth.
Because we ain't pros, though.
No, absolutely. I am about the farthest thing from a pro.
It's about your character.
It's about commitment to the company, to the family, to the product, more so than it is about being a pro.
That's right.
For sure.
That's right. We want you to be representable. In other words, be able to talk to people, be able to carry yourself in a manner that when people think about your name, they do think about Salty Bay or Redline Rigs. Because, they're really nice guys, man. They don't mind talking to you, and they got a great product. And, Salty Bay, everything we have, except for some of our hard baits, of course, but we even have one that I designed a couple years ago, and we're designing some more now that's made out of balsa wood. But our hard baits are custom painted by Natalie. One girl paints all of them. All our plastics are made. We own the molds and the machines, and they're made in Dunn, North Carolina. So we don't buy from China and repackage them and then put our name on it. We make them.
Yeah.
Out of virgin plastic. And so we spend a lot of time and effort in putting out a quality product. But in order to do that, we want quality people representing us. In a pro staff, a lot of people have a misconception about, oh man, if I get on a pro staff, they're going to give me a big check every year to represent them. That's
we all know that's not.
That don't work. It's about you help them and promote the product, but at the same time they give you product to go. So that saves you money.
That's right.
A lot of times that's worth more than a check would be.
And also the network of people. What people I think fail to miss is it's about a network of people, and that people you can trust, and people that fishing's good, but sometimes you need those life lessons too, and you need those times where you do. It's like when we come around the table today, and we're it's just awesome, man. Like you say, and a name, Salty Bay or Redline or Blind Hog or whatever it is, it might be a little title on the top of the page, but that isn't who, there's a lot deeper things there.
Well, I can tell you, and I'm sure these guys can talk about it too, but the shows we do, you don't realize how big your reach is.
Man.
And the impact you make.
Absolutely. And people come up, you have no clue who they are. Oh, I've seen you
last year, the year before that. Yeah. I mean, it's the impact you make on people, because a lot of people that come to these shows, believe it or not, and I am by far from being a pro, they know less than I do. So it's great to be able to talk to people about fishing, actually help them along, coach them a little bit, tell them techniques, what baits to use and stuff like that. And Tim can tell you, because he does a lot of the seminars, and after he does the seminars, that's when we usually get our rush at our booth. And I know you know that as well, Gas. But these people, they go to the seminars because they want to learn.
Yeah.
They're not going there to see,
So why am I doing seminars then?
You got to get on to learn. You got to get for gas.
They come to learn.
You were chatting. Well, technically, Tim's the closest to pro we got then sitting at the table, because he's the teacher. He's the sensei.
He's the teacher. But yeah, it's amazing the impact that you have on people at the shows. That's something I've enjoyed over the years, because
I didn't have any clue. I didn't have any clue
come. And they come back and visit you.
We went.
It's like they look forward to coming and stopping by your booth every year and visiting
people every year.
Yeah,
and
we were at the Raleigh show. We were all at the Raleigh show in January, and it was amazing to see if you stopped by at the Raleigh show to either booth and you just sat there and said, "Hey, we listened to your podcast. We've seen you on a video. We saw you last year in Greenville at the show, and then y'all took time and spoke with us." And dude, I had no clue how. I don't know. It was
real quick. One of the things that as you were talking that came to my mind about fishing, it does bring people together. That's how I met y'all.
Yeah.
The people, like Lambert said, at the seminars and the shows that we do that wait every year to come see us. You build a bond. You build a friendship and a relationship with these people, and that goes far beyond catching fish. It goes far beyond anything else we do, because
or a $10 bait.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, it does.
And, we build those relationships, and you feel like any one of those people that if you had their number and you called them, they come help you,
exactly.
And vice versa. And that's really, the fishing, the catching fish, all of those things. The money that you win at a tournament.
That's just a bonus.
That's a bonus.
It is.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
Just a bonus.
It's everything else that surrounds it. Because I can't tell you how many times both of us have wanted to quit because we were frustrated. We're trying to put a tournament season together. We're trying to do charity work. We're trying to do this with
2 tournament trails.
Yeah,
5 shows a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot.
It is.
And we'll get frustrated. Don't get time to fish. Don't get to do this. And we'll get frustrated, and then we'll get humbled because he'll get a call from somebody that this family's down and out.
Or I'll get a card in the mail.
Yeah.
From a family that we helped.
Right.
And, that really touches your soul when you get those.
And then you forget all about being frustrated. Mm-hmm. You're like, what can we do better?
The Lord said, when I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I needed shelter, you gave me somewhere to stay. I mean, whatever you did for the least of these, you did for me. Right. And a lot of times we use other tools to provide that, but a lot of times we don't realize the mission field we're on when we're doing whatever it is we're doing. And that's, to me, that's just amazing. It is awesome. And it's so humbling that he would use us 4 out of anybody, and then he would use a podcast or a trout tournament or a single fish that he made and put out there in the water with all the thousands and millions of types of fish. And what are we? We're addicted to trout fishing, but everybody's got their thing they like, but it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to reflect and think back. Yeah, they're regular people, but they also have a purpose. And we are not exclusive. Well, right. The ECIC is not. I
was gonna say that goes back to the club part. That's right. Everybody is part of the club.
That's right. Right.
And I wanted to say this because there's been some comments made to me over the last few years that people said, well, you and Lambert, y'all getting rich running that trail. We don't take a dime. It actually cost us money.
This podcast cost us money.
Tim's pulling that trailer up and down the road for the bass trail and the trout trail, and he didn't get refunded any of that gas money.
Well, that's what you said earlier. There's a lot of things behind the scenes and people behind the scenes that you don't see that make anything go. And you guys have been great at it, but it's it's just one of those things, man. It costs money to do stuff, and people from the outside looking in don't see that part of it.
No, they don't. And none of us members make a dime.
I will say this about our guys, though. They really appreciate what we do.
Oh, yeah.
They appreciate the service that we provide. Because, they're our customers, really,
Yeah.
The people the anglers are the customers. But they let us know just about every tournament how much they appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to y'all too.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, you know, but there's a lot of places that people wouldn't do that. It's just a group of people that we're involved with and around.
Yep, it's definitely not our guys. Our guys appreciate what we do, and they never fail to tell us.
That's right.
Well,
And I see too many times where people say, well, what's in it for me? You know, what's in it for me? What am I going to get out of it? But no, I can't help you if I ain't getting nothing. Our guys don't do that.
and honestly, you know us just as good as anything. That's kind of been this way with the podcast. It is. They say, well, what do you get out of that podcast? I mean, honestly, we get to meet really cool people. We get to highlight an area that we love, and we got to meet some. We've got to increase our network of people, which has been amazing. To me, that's the pay. That the pay is we've got to meet some really cool people, and to
One of the things I found out, and I was told years ago when I was tournament bass fishing, was I never learned anything from a tournament I won, but I learned a lot from every one that I lost.
yeah.
That's about, you know, when you're fishing against guys that are they're really considered to be great.
You got some guys that actually you've got some guys in your tournament stuff that actually won some of these big national.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got some of the best fishermen in Eastern North Carolina fishing with us.
In the world. So, I mean,
Honestly, in North Carolina, I mean, all over. Coming from Wilmington, Jacksonville, you know, we got some great fishermen, but we also got some fishermen that, you know, they're not that skilled at tournament fishing, but they want to come out and experience
or the kids get the experience
to fish in a tournament.
And they have fun, right?
Right, and they have fun, you know. Because we got a great group of people. You know?
That's the biggest thing is the great group of people.
Yep.
And that's
Well, in 3 years in our regular seasons, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Lambert, we haven't had a repeat winner in 3 years.
Now, I don't know about that now, but I know this year in the 6 qualifiers that we had, we didn't have a repeat winner all year long.
so you stay in, there's a chance.
Yeah. So, and, you know, we did have a repeat winner in the championship. The person that won the championship this year had won a tournament, but all 6 qualifiers this year, we had a different winner. So I think that speaks volumes for the fishermen, for the club, because you don't want the same people winning all the time, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very competitive, but fun at the same time. We have a good time, but the guys can be competitive now. When it comes to fishing, people are competitive.
I mean, think about that on a regular day. You're on the water. Don't mean everybody you see is in a tournament. They just competitive anyway.
Yeah, I know guys that go on the boat with you fishing, and they're bad at keeping up with how many fish they're catching compared to how many you're catching.
Exactly.
I have that.
Or how many times you change your bait. All kind of stuff.
Yeah, Chris, I do tell you about that.
I do keep up with that.
Well, we got about, let's say, 5 minutes left in today's episode. Is there anything that we have not talked about that you guys want to highlight? Anything just anything we can to kind of help out in the last few minutes as we kind of start to wrap.
If you want to know about Eastern Carolina Inshore Club, which we call ECIC, you can find us on Facebook, and you can see everything that we do, and you can follow us. You can ask us questions. You can do whatever, because Lambert monitors that, and he'll answer you back. Salty Bay Baits, you can go to saltybaybaits.com, and if you got any questions, you know, you can ask us a question there about fishing, about anything, about our baits. Redline Rigs, you can do the same thing. I think it's on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you can do that with him, with Austin and Gaston and Corey, yeah, and the BellhavenTroutFest.com. You know, you can go there and find out all about the Bell. We want people to come to Bellhaven. We want people to come and enjoy the festival, even if you don't fish. You know, we have
family friendly.
We have vendors.
Something for everyone.
Yeah,
That's right.
Fruit vendors. We have bouncy houses and different things for kids. We have a barbecue cooking contest the last 2 years. And you know, we have a stage that Don Cox came this past year and entertained us. It's just so much going on.
And they're going to continue to grow it every year, obviously.
But as we kind of close up the day, we just want to say thank you for listening. We want to say thank you for coming along. Don't forget to go and support these guys, check them out, reach out to them, learn a little bit from them, and say hello. And we definitely just want to say thank you guys for coming down here to the greater Bellhaven area.
And
Thank you for having
appreciate y'all asking us, man.
Thanks for having us.
Well, you know, you guys are doing a great thing for the community. So we try to spotlight that, right?
Yes,
I mean, we want people to understand what you guys are doing too. because the tournaments don't always get a great name.
They don't.
But you guys are doing some great stuff for the community, and it's awesome to highlight you guys on that.
And we appreciate
that. We really do.
Well,
Because we don't want to be known as that club that's just out there killing fish. You know?
That's right.
We're fishing with a purpose. So.
That's right. That's right. Well, y'all, hey, I don't think I can end any better. Make sure and live your lives every day with a purpose. Make sure if you don't know what that purpose is, we can definitely introduce you to the Lord Jesus and give you a little bit better direction. And but if you aren't part of a club, want to get involved with something, hit these guys up and join your local club. And I guarantee you won't be sorry that you did. All right. Take care. God bless. So from Corey,
Gaston,
Lambert,
and Tim.
all right, y'all take care. God bless, and we'll see you on the next episode.
There's nothing finer to me than to be on the water when that sun comes peeking in under that Carolina sky in the Lord's creation, ripping some lips on my favorite waters, taking blind hog adventures with some of my best buddies.